Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table you see a couple of belts here. If you're not familiar with what these belts are, these are actually Core Essential belts. Now, I have been a big fan of these belts since I found out about them, which is going on now probably a year. And today's review is actually not on these two. These are the two original ones they sent me that I've been using on and off for a good year. You know, obviously I just did a review on the new Vetter belt, which I have to say is an excellent belt as well. These obviously are a little different in the fact that they're not as, I guess you can say, utilitarian. So they're not, necessarily utility belts, but these are excellent belts to use for if you're dressing up and you carry a handgun at work, or if you're just out for a night and you want to have a nice belt on and you want to put your gun on it. These belts work fantastically. And one of the biggest, I think, advantages that Core Essentials has on their belts is the adjustability. And one of the things that they're known for is that track. And as you can see on there, each one of these little teeth right here are basically how much you can adjust the belt size, which is actually pretty cool. You know, when the belt comes to you, it is usually up to, I think, 54 inches on the waist. And then basically what you do is you size it so that, let's say you take a 36 waist and pants, you would basically cut this down, add the 4 more to that 36, and you'd cut it down to a 40. And basically that would be where you'd be able to comfortably carry and still have enough adjustability without the belt being too big or too small. Now, one of the things about this track I like also is that it does give you the ability to adjust it in 1/4 inch increments. So again, if, like, let's say, for example, you buy a belt and it's an extra large and it only goes up to a certain waistline, let's say you put on some weight, well, guess what? Now you're in trouble because that belt will have to be replaced because it won't fit any longer. In regards to, let's say you lose weight, now that huge belt that you're wearing, you no longer need. So as a result, you have to go buy a new belt. The benefit of the Core Essential belt, in my opinion, is the fact that if you gain weight or if you lose weight, you still have the adjustability, which makes the belt, in my opinion, one of the most perfect belts on the market. Now, these have both been used for a lot of carrying, just general use as a result. And I will tell you that this is my black one here, and I'll try to get as close to the camera as possible. But you'll notice that neither edge of this belt has been torn up by carrying a gun. And I will tell you that I do carry quite often. And in regards to this belt, I mean, there's just a couple of marks on the leather. You know, there's maybe a couple areas here and about there where there's some crimping on the leather. But other than that, there's absolutely nothing that would even show any wear on this belt at all. Again, it's a pretty firm belt for being this thin. You'll notice that even when I try to bend it, it doesn't really bend in my fingers. So it's a pretty sturdy single piece of leather with a reinforced core, which in my opinion is why I really like the belt. Again, this is my brown one, and just to give you an idea, I usually wear the brown a little bit more. And honestly, there's not a heck of a lot in this belt that you would see with wear. There is a little bit more of a twist in the belt just because I wear it more often and do carry a lot with this belt. And even on the inside of it, let me see if I can take this belt off here. Even on the interior, you'll notice there's just a slight mark in there, right there. I don't even know what that's from, to be honest with you. And you'll notice there's not a lot of wear in this belt whatsoever. It looks just as good as it did when it came in the first day I got it. Again, you'll notice you got the track line here. You got a nice tapered edge here on the belt. But, guys, solid stuff. And really, some people might say, well, it's a little thin up here on this section, but you're not going to be carrying your belt on the teeth. You want to be carrying your belt a little bit further back. And here it's much stiffer than in that front portion right there. Now, if you're not familiar with how the belt works, basically you just put it in and the teeth will catch all the teeth of the belt. If I could speak, that'd be great. Actually catch the track of the belt, and basically you can go ahead and just pull it through and you can hear it latching onto each tooth. And that's it. That's all it does. And it sinks right in, no issues. If you want to loosen it up, you just push up on the tab or down, depending on how you wear your belt, and it comes right out. So again, no issues there. Now, the exciting part of this is that Core Essentials is now creating a new belt, and it's called their Tactical Belt. Now, I know a lot of people get up in arms when people start talking about tactical stuff. What does tactical mean? I don't know. I'm not going to be jumping out of a helicopter with this or anything, but nonetheless, this is their new belt. And you can see that from every aspect, it looks basically like a regular belt. I will tell you that it's actually fairly comfortable. Again, you have 3 basic layers to this. On the outside, you have an exterior layer of nylon, and this nylon has been tested for 500 pounds. So it's pretty sturdy. It's a really nice feeling nylon. I mean, it actually feels really nice, guys. I'm not going to lie. And of course, on the interior, you have a polymer core in the center of this. And they also added something called their super fiber backing. And basically with those 3 layers, it comes with the support and the strength that you need to carry your gun. This super fiber backing, they call it, is actually water resistant and extremely durable. I've been wearing this now for a few days and carrying with it, and I've got to say, guys, amazing. You know, Core Essentials, in my opinion, does a great job with what they have to offer. Again, you'll notice that this is actually just one of their test belts. This is not actually the final product. What they told me was that when they come out with the final product, they're actually going to taper this off like they did with the leather belts, which is going to be awesome. And hopefully they'll send me one of those because I could really use one of these in FDE as well. And you'll notice they did send me a new belt buckle, which totally surprised me. I didn't think they were going to do that, but I really appreciate that because, again, these belt buckles are made of steel. Really, really nice belt buckles. You know, my old one's getting a little bit dinged up, but that's what happens when you use it. Again, it's the same principle. You know, you have your teeth of the belt, and I'll show you the little tracks here. But you can see that they have the same exact track on there. And of course, your belt buckle, which has those steel teeth in there. What it does is when you cut it down to size, you just fit it into here. And then basically you just close this and the teeth bite into the belt. And the belt literally won't go anywhere. You know, again, really nice. You can see how rigid this is. Again, it's fairly rigid, but it does give a little bit. So you do have that comfortable, you know, feel to the belt. And I've got to say, guys, for a couple of days that I've been wearing it, it's really a pretty darn good belt. And I think it has a lot to do with the adjustability, again, of the track line. You know, one of the things that I said on some of my other videos of other belts that I've owned, look, I have leather belts, I have nylon belts, you know, I have Cobra buckle belts. All of them are good belts. And one of the things that I have to say about this one, that I have to say I enjoy a little bit more, is just the adjustability. The reason being is because depending on the size of the gun you're carrying, you know, let's say, for example, I want to carry my PPS today. This gun is a lot thinner than, let's say, a Glock 19 or a PPQ. And in regards to that, if I can cinch up my belt a little bit more, all I have to do is do this. That's it. And I don't have to do anything else. And if I want to carry something a little bit heavier and a little bit thicker later that day, I'll push up on the grip or the handle here, and I can readjust it to whatever size I want. So, I mean, for me, this is definitely a belt that I will absolutely use tremendously because of the adjustability. But again, it may not be perfect for you. It just depends on what you're looking for. Right now, I am a believer. I think it's got a good amount of durability. It's got a good amount of rigidity, which I like. And in my opinion, this belt's going to go a long way. Now, if I had any downside to the belt, if there was one thing I was going to pick out that I kind of am sort of iffy on, it's probably just the fact that when you put your belt on and you go to cinch it down and it's fit where it needs to be, this piece is so rigid that it kind of sticks out a little bit. So you can actually see that. Now, obviously, with your belt, once it goes onto your pants and you've got a pant loop right here, it'll catch a lot of that. A lot of times I leave these a little bit longer than they need to be, but it will catch it. You might get a little bit sticking out like that. And one of the things that I would say is if you're not comfortable with that, you can always adjust the belt a little bit so that it falls more into the loop, or push it back a little bit so that this is caught by the loop more. And then your belt buckle will be more to the side. If you can live with that, not a problem. Or you can always cut it down and readjust the length to see if that helps you. Overall, though, I've been very satisfied with the couple of days that I've had this belt. Again, I'm going to put it through its paces, and I'll probably do a follow-up with it because I am really excited for this product. Again, check out the website. This was a Kickstart-funded project for Core Essentials. And again, I think that's awesome. So you can still get on it because as far as I know, they haven't really put these out to production yet. But they are available to order ahead of time. And I've got to say, when they taper this down, you know, you have the choice between black and FDE. I think it's going to be a phenomenal belt, and I think it's going to sell like hotcakes, to be honest with you. So I hope you guys have a great day. You know, if you enjoyed the review, let me know. Tell me what you think about these Core Essential belts, and if you really think they're worth the money, because in my opinion, they are. And I hope you guys are being safe out there. And as always, freedom is never free.